Hi there guys, welcome to the final training module of Affiliate Marketing 360, whereby in this module I will be sharing with you guys more in terms of paid traffic. Now bearing in mind the objective of Affiliate Marketing 360 is to actually share with you guys and the basics of affiliate marketing, as well as allowing you guys to have a solid foundation before you officially embark on this business, or if you are already on this business, solidify your understanding of this particular business model, which is affiliate marketing. Now, paid traffic is a very commonly talked about topic when it comes to channeling traffic to various different offers. So in our case, we are channeling all this traffic to our squeeze pages, subsequently to the bridge page and to the main offer again. So the reason why most people embark into paid traffic is because of impatience or being misled by all the ads out there. More often than not, sometimes you will see ads like, for example, how I made $10,000 in 1 week, how I make $60,000 in 2 days, so on and so forth. Now, whenever I see these kind of ads, usually I just pass. I don't even bother to look at them. Reason for that is too good to be true. And it is true. Too good to be true. Now, why? Is it possible to actually earn $60,000 in 2 days by using paid traffic? Yes, definitely you can. But one thing that they usually do not share with you is how much have they actually lost before they finally find the correct campaign, the ideal campaign that allows them to scale to this level. So the $60,000 that you see is the gross revenue. It's not a net profit. Okay, it's usually not a net profit. The only way to get net profit, 100% net profit, is either through the organic method or through email marketing when it comes to affiliate marketing. Alright, so please bear that in mind. Even with email marketing, don't forget sometimes we still need to consider the cost of purchasing the autoresponders, which is a monthly fee. So definitely there's some cost involved when it comes to running a business. Okay, even if you want to win a $1 million lotto, you also need to invest money to actually buy the sweepstake ticket in the first place. Am I right? Okay, so looking at the screen, when it comes to paid traffic, let me just expand it. Okay, now looking at the screen, the pros and cons and platforms are basically what I'm going to share in terms of this module. So of course, when it comes to paid traffic, you can see faster results or faster failure. Now, reason for that is because there are three main components in order to allow you to succeed with paid traffic. Number one, you must have the patience. Now you might be wondering, why organic I need patience, paid traffic I also need patience. Yes, when it comes to paid traffic, sorry to say, the more patience you actually need. I don't mean in terms of the length of time, I mean in terms of don't keep harping on the fact that every day you are spending X amount of dollars on paid traffic without seeing results yet. And some rather you cut away the campaigns too fast before even allowing the campaigns to optimize within the respective platforms. Okay? Now, number one is, now I mentioned you need to have the patience. Number two, you need to understand how to analyze the data when it comes to paid traffic. If you don't know how to analyze the data, it becomes useless to you because at the end of the day, you are just using paid traffic as a form of gambling. Then my suggestion is go to online casino. You have a better chance over there. Definitely, you have a better chance over there. Trust me on that. Okay, because if you are just going to gamble with paid traffic, almost 99% you will lose money. All right. Well, at least with gambling in casino, at least you have a 50% chance, right? Or maybe even 40-60 example. Now let's not digress too fast. Now the third component that you need when it comes to paid traffic is actually to have the capital. All right, you need to have the capital to play with when it comes to paid traffic. Now the last thing you want to see is when you finally found the correct campaign, your entire credit card limit has already been exhausted. And you don't have much savings to actually play with, and thereby it actually loses all the effectiveness of the data that you have accumulated for the last few days, so on and so forth. Okay, or maybe for the past few weeks. So let me just summarize the three components you need to succeed with paid traffic in order to see faster results and not faster failure. Number one, you need to have the patience. Number two, you need to know how to analyze the data. And number three, you need the capital. Okay. So the cons of paid traffic, of course, is you need a huge capital to play with. So what kind of capital are we talking about here? For individual platforms that you're moving into when it comes to paid traffic, my suggestion is to stand by at least $2,000. Okay, at least $2,000. Let's say, for example, now Facebook owns Instagram, so Facebook Instagram is under one platform, and Google owns YouTube, so Google YouTube is under one platform. For each platform that you are intending to embark on paid traffic with, stand by at least $2,000. Okay, so if you don't have this capital, I have one suggestion for you. If you don't want to wait for organic, find an alternative job, find a side income, save it up, and then embark on paid traffic. Okay. Now, without further ado, let's look into the Facebook platform. Okay, first and foremost, you see over here, this is your Facebook profile. So the Facebook profile is the one whereby you use it on a personal basis to communicate with your friends, so on and so forth. Next one you have is the Facebook Business Manager account. Now to create a Facebook Business Manager account, pretty simple. Just go to business.facebook.com and you can create a Business Manager account from there. And within one Business Manager account, you can have up to 5 Facebook ad accounts. Now initially when you open the fresh new Business Manager account, you can only open up to 1 ad account. But as the more you spend with the Facebook ad platform, the more ad account they will actually open up for you. Alright? So within each ad account is where you set up your Facebook campaigns. So we are over here now, Facebook campaigns. Alright, this is the one. Okay. So within these Facebook campaigns, all you have to do is to tell Facebook what is the main objective of your campaign. Is it meant to drive leads, drive traffic? Is it meant to actually create brand awareness? Is it meant for conversion? So on and so forth. Alright. Now this campaign objective is very important because it will actually tell Facebook what are the things you are looking for to optimize. If you are just trying to get more traffic to a particular website, which is your squeeze page URL in this case, so what Facebook will do is, once they recognize that this particular area of their Facebook data is actually channeling a lot of traffic to you, they will just keep on bombarding this area and keep on channeling traffic for you without caring whether this traffic will even convert. Because in the first place, your instruction to Facebook at your Facebook campaign level was traffic and not conversion. Okay, so please set your Facebook campaign properly, knowing what is the objective before you even embark on this advertising platform. Now within each campaign, you have this thing called the ad sets. Ad sets is actually a very funny word. I don't know why they call it ad set. When I first used Facebook platform, I was so confused. What is ad set actually? Is there even such an English word for it? Now, what ad sets mean is your audience targeting. So you can actually choose the demographics of your audience that you wish to channel them to your specific URL. Now, when I talk about demographics, I'm talking about you can choose the gender, you can choose the age, you can choose the countries they're staying in, so on and so forth. Now, one very important aspect when it comes to ad set is this thing called interest targeting. So interest targeting, let's say I give you an example. You are trying to promote a weight loss product. Now there's this particular weight loss product called Research, that's actually retailing on ClickBank. So when it comes to this particular product, so of course you are actually moving into the weight loss niche. So within the ad set, you might actually want to put the word weight loss under interest targeting. So that is considered as one interest, okay, one ad set. So of course within individual ad set, again, what you have here is the ads. Now this one is the end product that you will see. If you scroll through your entire Facebook profile newsfeed, sometimes you will see certain things called the sponsored posts. Okay, sponsored posts. So these sponsored posts are actually people who actually use the Facebook advertising platform to target you and people who are similar to you pertaining to demographics or interests, and they actually show you either a picture ad, a video ad, or carousel ad, etc. Okay, so this actually sums up the entire workflow of using Facebook advertising platform. Now looking at this circle over here, this circle is what I call the Facebook page. You need a Facebook page in order to run this entire Facebook advertising campaign. So this Facebook page can be easily created when you go to Facebook profile and just hit create page. Okay. Back again to our example of promoting research, which is a weight loss supplement. So let's say, for example, you are trying to create a Facebook page to promote research. Now my suggestion is, please do not create a Facebook page and call it research, okay, or research reviews, research products, so and so forth. Instead of being product specific, you might want to make it niche specific. Like, for example, you can call your Facebook page towards healthy lifestyle, great living together, great living lifestyle, so and so forth. Now, why? Because there are so many weight loss supplement products that you can actually promote from ClickBank itself or even from MaxWeb. So the last thing you want to do is to actually create one Facebook page for each product. Now, of course, there's no limit in terms of how many Facebook pages you can create within your Facebook profile. However, if you move into a niche-specific Facebook page, there are several advantages to it. Number one, you don't have to keep hustling yourself with creating new Facebook pages each time you want to launch a new offer, or rather you want to promote a new offer. Secondly, you can actually concentrate all your efforts in terms of warming up this Facebook page, because you are going for niche specific instead of product specific. It's pretty easy to actually attract new Facebook users to actually like your page. And when Facebook sees that your engagement within your Facebook page is great in terms of number of likes, number of shares, number of comments, it actually gives Facebook an impression that you are a legitimate business. Okay, you are actually into a so-called health niche, and you're not just a fly-by-night, business owner, so and so forth. All right. So this actually summarizes the entire Facebook advertising platform. Now, before we move into the Facebook platform itself, I want to share with you guys a very interesting fact when it comes to advertising using Facebook platform. Let me show you this particular search results. If you key in on your Google search, Facebook account disabled, you will see almost 1 billion results. 1 billion search results. Yeah, you heard it right. 1B. Okay. This is 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, so it's 1 billion. Okay. Why are there so many search results when it comes to Facebook account disabled? Okay, like they'll ask questions, how can I recover my Facebook account that was disabled? Why Facebook account disabled for no reason? How long does it last? So and so forth. Now, if you see most of these answers over here, okay, honestly speaking, from my personal experience, all these answers are bullshit, BS, pardon my language. Okay, now when your Facebook ad is being disabled, okay, effectively you can actually request a review, and if it was actually a wrongful act on Facebook site because of their AI, the artificial intelligence, actually picking up the wrong signals, of course they can revive your ad. But once your ad set is being disabled, all right, or rather, usually they don't disable the ad set, they'll disable your entire Facebook campaign or your entire Facebook ad account. Now, even if they disable your entire Facebook ad account, don't worry, you have 4 more. Am I right? But the problem is, whenever Facebook disables certain ad account or ads, so-called, or even your business manager account, now the main problem is, when you request for a review with Facebook, usually they just give you an answer of yes or no. And if you try to hassle them, harass them in terms of what is the reason for this disabled, they will just give you one standard answer. Sorry, we cannot disclose. No, that to me is pretty unacceptable, honestly. So if any of you are Facebook representative, this is my feedback. Okay, this is my honest feedback. Now, the reason they actually say they can't disclose is because they do not want people to bypass their policies and taking advantage of it, so and so forth. But in my opinion, what about those people who are ethical advertisers? You are basically, because of 1 or 2 bad eggs within a basket of eggs, and you throw away the entire basket. Yeah, because you're so big, of course you can afford to do that, but it creates a lot of unhappiness among ethical advertisers. Because, for example, if you are going into Facebook and doing your ads, all right, and while you're accumulating the data without any results yet, Suddenly one day you wake up and you realize your Facebook ad account is disabled. So that means to say all those money that you invested with Facebook are all being washed down the drain. So let's say, for example, you're running a campaign with, let's say, 10 assets, and each asset costs you $10 per day. All right, so that means every day you're investing $100 into your Facebook ad campaign. After 3 days, you spend $300. Okay, and there's no results yet, and you're starting to see some proper data showing up finally after 3 days, because usually your Facebook pixel needs about 3 days to optimize. Suddenly on the 4th day, Facebook can just disable your ad account. And when you ask them why, they don't answer. All right. So if for ethical advertisers who are really doing nothing wrong, if you don't give them the answer as for why your Facebook ad account was disabled, how are these ethical advertisers going to so-called correct their mistakes? And this is what Facebook actually don't care, unfortunately, because basically they're making too much money, so they don't really care whether they lose you or lose 10 or even lose 100 advertisers. Not a big deal to them at this point in time. Okay, now if your Facebook ad account is being disabled, like what I say, if you already have 5, you can still use 4 more. But if your Facebook Business Manager account is disabled, your entire campaign ad account all is disabled automatically. This is like a chain effect, guys. The worst thing is if your Facebook profile is being disabled, okay, the entire Facebook campaign is gone. The entire Facebook advertising platform for you is gone. You can no longer advertise on the Facebook platform using this particular profile. Now, there are people who actually try to bypass this, whereby they create another separate profile. So like, for example, if my name is Benjamin Go, I can call it Go Benjamin now, or I can put my full name, Go something something. Now, Facebook is not stupid. If you try to use the same, a separate business profile, a separate Facebook profile to create Facebook Business Manager, blah blah blah, all these things here. My suggestion is you better make sure that you're not using the same IP address, the same Wi-Fi IP address. You're not using your same cellular data IP. You're not adding back the same old friends. You're adding a whole new group of friends. And I think, joke aside, maybe you might want to go for a plastic surgery to change your entire face so that your profile picture looks different as well. Okay, if not, the Facebook artificial intelligence is so smart in the sense that they can actually identify similar activities between your new Facebook profile and the one that was disabled, and they will go ahead and disable the other one again. Okay, so this is the main problem that a lot of Facebook advertisers face. Honestly, out of 10 users who use paid traffic on Facebook profile, literally all 10 face the same issue. Okay, and literally all 10 are frustrated that Facebook don't even tell them what is the reason the account was disabled. So unfortunately, this is how complacent Facebook is at this point in time. But yes, Facebook is a very effective platform until the release of iOS 14. So this actually spells a potential problem for Facebook, which in my opinion is good. It's time to actually let all these so-called big giants, time to wake up. Okay, what is iOS 14? Okay, see, I'm sharing with you guys all this information because you really want to know the inside out of Facebook advertising before you even venture into it. All right? Excuse me. iOS 14 was introduced at the end of 2020, and it was effectively so-called in place at the beginning of 2021. So iOS 14 states that if you are using a Apple device, be it a MacBook or iPhone, when you actually install all these third-party apps, Facebook be one of them, they give you an option to actually choose whether would you like your data to be shared to these third-party apps. Now, Facebook was very effective before because, let me show you using this internet search. Now, let's say, for example, I'm visiting this website whereby I want to search for Canon cameras, right? Canon cameras. So these are all the ads from Google. Okay, now let's say if I go over to this one, since I stay in Singapore, I go to the Canon Singapore branch. So once I visit this website, okay, let me go to my Chrome extension under Facebook Pixel. Can you see that they have already found a pixel here? Now this is not my pixel ID, This is not my pixel ID. This is someone else's pixel ID. Okay, and this is most likely the data that Facebook will actually capture that this guy actually went to search for Canon cameras. Okay, so meaning to say, on a lot of platforms, a lot of websites, actually Facebook Pixel is everywhere. Okay, this Facebook Pixel is everywhere. So that's also the reason why you might be wondering just now when I mentioned about weight loss. How would Facebook even know that I'm interested in weight loss? Now the reason is because you actually went, so-called, either you use your mobile phone or your laptop or desktop, and you actually did some search when it comes to weight loss. Okay, weight loss. All right, so let's say if I were to go for something else, let's say, okay, how to lose weight fast in 3 simple steps. Okay, let's activate the Facebook Pixel again. So for this website, there's no Facebook Pixel found. So let's say if I were to go for example, one of the ads here, this one. Okay. No, there you see the Facebook Pixel, the Facebook Pixel activated again. So whenever you are doing all these searches online, when it comes to different things of your interest, Facebook Pixel is like a private investigator that is tracking everywhere you are going. And thereby all this vast amount of data that Facebook collects actually allows Facebook to segregate their users into separate so-called categories of interest. Now that's the reason why Facebook was so effective back before in 2020 and before, right? 2019 especially, so and so forth. And now with iOS 14 updates, okay, let me show you a search here. Percentage of US iPhone users. Okay, or maybe I put it as Apple users. Percentage of Apple users in US. Now, you can see that in 2019, iOS alone occupies almost half. What percentage of the US uses Apple? Almost 60%. So let's say this 60%, when they actually so-called update their operating system to the newest iOS 14 update, and when they chance upon this particular option to ask them whether would you like to share your data across the internet, now more often than not, more than 50%, my gut feel, more than 50% of these people will say no. I want to retain my privacy, especially nowadays, everybody's talking about privacy and how can they protect their privacy against these internet giants such as Google or even Facebook. So when these people actually say no, which is more than 50% of this, can you see that out of 60%, Facebook is going to lose the data for more than 30% of the entire users. Okay, so of course at this point in time, Android is not being affected so much yet. Simple business decision. Android is trying to capture more market share. All right, so they do not want to actually antagonize all these tech giants at this point in time. But once Android and iOS start to get on par, my gut feel is definitely they will move along with this privacy update as well. Well, because they want to be in line with all the government regulations. So after these iOS updates, okay, now again let's do a Google search. How does iOS 14? See, how does iOS 14 affect Facebook ads? Being the first search coming up. Okay, how will iOS 14 affect Facebook ads? Less efficient and less effective advertising. Fewer website sales from ads. Drop in Facebook app install. Greater difficulty for small businesses to reach the ideal audiences, limiting growth. Can you see all this negative effect coming up because of iOS 14 update? Now, one of the very interesting feature within Facebook advertising platform, okay, let me go back here again, is this thing called Lookalike audience. You can actually create Lookalike audience based on certain activities that your existing traffic has actually conducted when they reach your website. So let's say, for example, you are driving a Facebook campaign and you have about 10,000 people who visited your website. Out of these 10,000 people who visited your website, 5,000 actually choose to opt into your email addresses. And out of these 5,000 who opt into email addresses, 1,000 actually purchased the product, so on and so forth. All right, so you have 10,000 who visited, 5,000 opt in, and 1,000 purchased. So what you can do with Facebook before is you can tell Facebook, look, I have 1,000 purchases here. Can you actually create a look-alike audience of people who actually resembles the 1,000 people who purchased the product? Before iOS 14 was updated, it was very easy for Facebook to do that. Like what I mentioned, they have all the data to do so. However, with Facebook, with iOS 14 update, lookalike audience effectiveness and efficiency dropped drastically. I'm talking about at least a 60% drop. Okay, the reason why I know that because I'm very active when it comes to Facebook advertising, and that's also one of the reasons why my Facebook Business Manager was so-called permanently banned. Okay, now, so when it comes to lookalike audience being effectively useless now within Facebook, and with all these restrictions still going on, it actually spells the beginning of failure for Facebook, in my opinion. Okay. However, even though with iOS 14 update, Facebook, with its past vast amount of data that they still have, can still struggle and live for the time being. Now, so if you are really looking into advertising with Facebook, okay, or even with Google, now bear in mind that iOS 14 updates not only affect Facebook, it also affects Google, okay, but excuse me, but there's one very big difference when it comes to Facebook and Google advertisement. Now, Facebook relies on data that they spy on based on the various website Facebook pixels. Okay, I use the word they spy on various so-called websites that Facebook users actually visited. But if you were to do a Google YouTube ad, now that's totally different, because when you do a Google YouTube ad, all right, YouTube users actually search within the YouTube platform, like for example, how to do affiliate marketing. So they are the ones who actually input into the YouTube platform itself what I'm looking for. So when you actually use YouTube or rather Google AdWords to do YouTube ads, you can do this kind of keyword research, and it makes it very easy for you to target the correct audience. And that's the reason why also there's no need to create lookalike audience within YouTube. All right, because these people like us, people like me and you, when we go to YouTube, we actually input our direct interest. What are we interested to search for within YouTube? But when it comes to Facebook, okay, that is where the difference lies. Facebook relies heavily on the data collected from their pixels. And these pixels is now quite limited in terms of the usage. All right? So that, in a nutshell, sums up the entire pros and cons of using Facebook platform. Now, if you ask me, is it still worth it to use Facebook to advertise? Yes and no. Okay, Facebook, is it still effective? Yes, to some, but most to many as well. Like what they share over here. This is the one. Just now there was a search here. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, not this one. This one. It becomes more difficult for small businesses to reach ideal audience, limiting growth. Remember just now I mentioned about the capital you need, which is about $2,000. Now, please guys, $2,000 is nothing when it comes to advertising. Okay, it's really nothing. Big companies invest millions and millions of dollars every single year just to reach their target audience. So what is $2,000? A drop in the ocean, honestly. So definitely we are considered a small business. Okay. Now, before I actually move on to actually talking about the platform and how can you set up your campaign, so on and so forth, let me go back again to this. Okay. Now, even if your entire Business Manager account is being restricted, so on and so forth, so long as your Facebook profile is not being restricted, not to worry. In fact, you can still create ad using your Facebook profile per se. Okay, because your Facebook profile is untouched. You can still create a Facebook page. You can use your profile to actually advertise, which I'll show you guys later. And in fact, this is an even better way. Why? Because when it comes to creating a Facebook Business Manager account, Now, you will eventually chance upon a time where Facebook will ask you for verification. They will ask you for business documents to verify that you are truly a legitimate business incorporated with your respective countries. Now, guys, think about it. Would you actually incorporate a company to conduct affiliate marketing business? 80 to 90% of people won't, honestly, because we are doing this on a self-employed personal basis. Okay. So, for example, if your name is Thomas A. Smith, when you actually create a Facebook profile, would you use the full name, full last name, middle name, and your first name as your Facebook profile name? Usually no. So most people will instead of Thomas A. Smith, they will just put it as Mr. Smith or Thomas Smith. Now, if you create this kind of Facebook profile, and when Facebook asks you for business documents, number one, you cannot produce. Number two, when you give them your bank statement or whatever with Thomas A. Smith, they will actually reject your business manager activation, and they will tell you one thing straight. Your business ID, which is Thomas A. Smith, does not coincide with your Facebook account name, which is Thomas or Thomas Smith. The A, the middle name, is missing. Now, this is how strict Facebook is when it comes to actually business account verification. Actually, when it comes to creating a Facebook Business Manager account, what Facebook wants is for agencies or business owners to use this platform. This platform, unfortunately, according to my conversations with the Facebook reps, it seems to me that this platform is not really meant for individuals. If as an individual you wish to advertise, use your personal Facebook profile to advertise. Okay? So what's the main difference? Now, the main difference is, when it comes to business manager, of course, you can create up to 5 ad accounts. Okay? And honestly, these 5 ad accounts is actually not meant for you to one disable, use another one disable, use another one. No. The original objective of having 5 ad account is, for example, you're an agency helping 5 different companies. You need 5 different ad accounts to run, because different ad accounts, you can create different pixels. All right. So maybe one company is dealing with restaurant advertising, one company is dealing with weight loss, one company is dealing with affiliate marketing, one company is dealing with tourism, so on and so forth. You need different pixels to handle different ad accounts. So that's the reason why these 5 ad accounts was initially established. All right. So if you are not a business owner, you don't have a company incorporated within your respective countries, my suggestion is you can open up this account. Yes, Facebook will not stop you. But if you want to do big, if you want to go big with this method, eventually you want to spend at $1,000 a day because you're making $5,000 a day, your net profit is $4,000, eventually you will definitely face this problem. Definitely you'll face this problem. All right. So in order to bypass this problem, the best is you start off with your your personal Facebook profile. All right. The advantage is it is not easy, or rather it's not that convenient per se, for Facebook to just disable your entire Facebook profile. Okay. Now, of course, you also need to do a personal verification, whereby you just have to show them your passport, your passport documents. Even if the passport name doesn't really coincide for your Facebook profile name, it's not a very big issue. At least it's a legitimate passport. And of course, you can verify the photos inside there, so on and so forth. Then your Facebook profile is safe. Okay, but the disadvantage of using a Facebook profile to advertise is you cannot create lookalike audience, which after iOS 14 update is okay, because anyway, lookalike audience is no longer that effective by using the Facebook Business Manager account. All right. Now, I know this video is a bit long. It's about 35 minutes long now. However, I know a lot of people are so interested into Facebook advertising, and so many affiliate marketers lose money, including myself before, lose money with Facebook platform, which is why I spend so much time talking about this platform per se. All right, so after this whole discussion, definitely there are pros and cons. If you are somebody who is serious about Facebook advertising, my suggestion is, if you don't have a company incorporated, use your personal profile to advertise. Don't go down this route. Don't go down this particular route, okay? By creating Facebook Business Manager, then creating up to 5 ad accounts and so forth. Don't do that. It will eventually bite you back. All right. But within this profile, you can still advertise. You can still create Facebook campaign. You can still create asset. You can still create ads. just that you cannot use lookalike audiences, or you cannot create custom audiences, which is not a very big deal right now. So I will see you in my next video, whereby I will move directly into my personal Facebook account and show you guys how to actually create a campaign from scratch. Alright, so see you in my next video.